makes them question. There's a measurement they do at the back of their neck, and if it's something or above, then they think about doing genetics studies on the baby. So there's several ways we can find out prenatally whether or not the baby has Down syndrome. A lot of the babies, sadly, are aborted when they have Down syndrome. The parents choose not to continue with the pregnancy. Kind of a sad thing because they're great kids, and but some parents can't handle it. They don't want to go there. So, they have some of these tests to make that decision. So they hope nobody aborts a baby, but it happens. So yeah, usually you can look at them. In fact, my whole family, because I've been at this so long now, my whole family can identify people with Down syndrome, and I get poked every time. Why? There's one of your friends. And they seem to show up wherever I am. I'm not sure why that is. We went to a Royals game. It was Down syndrome day. I mean, we just randomly decided to go to a Royals game, and it was Down syndrome day, so there was lots of kids with Down syndrome. I was in the airport in Washington, D.C., and we got on the shuttle thing to go to get our baggage. And there's a kid with Down syndrome who's got like 14 medals on from Special Olympics. He was flying back from wherever he had been, and they were rooting on him. I get poked. Why? There's one of your friends. My sister has threatened to take some of my business cards because she sees somebody hands out a business card. We went to a KU game. I mean, we had KU season football tickets, not this year, but in the past. And I don't know, there were 50,000 people there. And down the bench from us, a young man and his caregiver with Down, he had Down syndrome. He goes, how did that happen? I said, I don't know. They find me. I don't know how it happens. They just know where I am and they show up. But it's okay with me because then I usually get hung up.
Are kids with Down syndrome typically shy or have any social phobia?
No, not in general. In general, they're incredibly friendly. In fact, you have to work with them not to hug everybody. You say, okay, this is not the time for hugging. This is the time for saying, hi, my name is Sally. I'm glad to meet you. This is not for we're not relatives, And I guess I don't do very well because I like the hugs, and so I always want to hug, and so I think they try to teach their kids not to hug everybody, and they'll say, can I please have a hug? But they're usually very friendly and very social and very outgoing. They've always got something to chat with you about, tell you a story, or tell you something. They're usually very, very friendly, very outgoing, and they generally don't know a stranger, and that can create problems in a variety of ways. When they get old enough to be independent, you can't just get in the car with everybody because they look friendly. You have to. So it can create problems with them, but generally they're very. A few of them are shy. I mean, like you guys, they're shy. They're very outgoing, but most of them are outgoing.
And are there any misconceptions about Down syndrome? And then, if so, what are important things that you would want the public to know?
Yeah, there are a lot of misconceptions. I think when I described a kiddo to you, your question was, are they going to need caregivers? That's a misconception. I think that they're going to need somebody to take care of them. They need a little support, but they don't, they can take care of themselves. They get up and they shave or brush their hair or do whatever they need to do, go to work. They can do all of that. They don't need somebody to take care of them. There's kind of a misconception about all the things they can't do because they can do a lot of things. They can have really good jobs. They can go to college. They can live independently. They can do all of those things. They can go to school. So, I think a lot of people think that they won't be able to ever do anything, and that they'll just be dependent on the people around them, and they'll be hard to raise. And issues, but so did we got. I'm sure if I talked to your parents, they wouldn't say that everything went swell while they were raising you. I had good kids, and we had a few issues here and there, and so do they. But I think that I just think that people think that they're not going to be, they're just going to be a burden, I guess is what I think they think they're going to be a burden. And in fact, when I talk to my parents, there's an old concept called chronic sorrow. It came out in the 60s. And it was that when you have a child that has a disability at birth, you grieve that child. He's not like the Gerber baby that you thought you were going to have, and you thought it'd be wonderful, it was going to have issues. And then the grief kind of gets better, and you quit grieving. And then you only grieve when you miss things, because kids with Down syndrome, they don't walk at one. And so the thought was that maybe parents grieve at one when they don't walk, but they walk at 2. And then maybe when they don't go to kindergarten at 5, the parents grieve. Maybe when they don't graduate from high school, or they don't drive at 16, the parents have this moment of grieving. So that was the thought process. But I can tell you I'm not finding that. I'm not finding that. These parents seem to be able to just rejoice in what their kid does because their kid is so joyful. He walked sooner or later, and that was great. He walked, yay, and he went to school, and maybe his life trajectory is going to look different than he thought it might. But there's some really wonderful things about these kids. They have a radar about them, most of them, that they can pick up emotions in the room faster than anybody else. So if you come in not feeling very well, they can pick right up on it. What's wrong? What's wrong? How come you're not feeling good today? Is there something I can help you with? They pick up on that. Or they pick up stress in the home. Just, other teenagers like are oblivious to what's going on. And these guys know something is not right. And they pick up on it, and they want to know how they can help. Do you need a hug? Oh, I'm so sorry. And a lot of teachers will say they pick up in the school. Say, Miss Jones, are you okay? And she'll say, well, nobody knew that I was. No, none of the other kids, but they can figure it out. They know something's not right. So it's a delight. It's a delight. And one of my parents said, every night when I come home, there's someone's named Matthew. And Matthew goes to my church, and this is what happens every Sunday. Moya! It's like I haven't seen him in 20 years, and I saw him last Sunday. And his dad says he does this every night when he comes home. Dad, it's good you're home. I mean, how nice to be welcomed home like that. These kids love unconditionally. Unconditionally. They put nothing, there's no requirements. Maybe they don't have the coolest stuff. They don't, but Matthew, if he's got M&Ms and Sprite, he's a happy man. He doesn't need anything else, and he will love you to death. That's all he needs. And so you don't have to worry about pleasing him, because just you being there is a pleasing thing for them. And so these kids are really a delight to have in your family. They kind of help you readjust and readjust your worldview. And I think parents are appreciating that aspect about them. It's not, they'll handle all the things that come along. They have to with any other kid. And so they just appreciate these kids kind of readjusting their worldview. They've also done studies that the siblings of kids with Down syndrome grow up to go into caring professions. So they're teachers, nurses, or doctors, people that care about somebody else, because they learn they have to take care of their brother, they have to take care of their sister, they need a little bit more attention. Matthew's brother used to take him home after school every night and give him Sprite and the M&Ms, and then he'd go back to track practice. And his parents told me that he knew he was going to take care of Matthew. He was going to have to see so he's a very caring young man. He was mature beyond his years and cares deeply about the people around him. He's in the ministry. And so just cares very deeply. You see a lot of our nurses, a lot of siblings, a lot of our social workers, and they're taking care of the people around them. And so that's a real positive effect on a family, that some people get a little bit more care than other people, and that your life is not singular. And so I think that's important. That's an important lesson to learn. Hopefully my kids have learned, with the people that we've been around all their lives. They've been around kids with Down syndrome, and hopefully they've learned a little more patience. My daughter's a teacher, and when she was in her special ed class, she said, kids in her class said, "Oh man, I hope I don't have those kids in my class." And she said, "Why? These are great kids. They're great kids. You just have to go at it if you can." And so I hope that they've learned to appreciate the difference is okay. So I think there's a lot of positive things. Sometimes parents have a hard time seeing that right at first, but they get there. And they're great parents, and they don't grieve. They rejoice over the fact that this is a great kid, and they're glad they had the opportunity to be with them.
That was my final question. Guess have anything else?
You clearly love your job. I love it.
Yeah,
You're making me happy the whole time.
I think if you give these guys a chance, I think we talk about integration in the school. You guys have got kids with Down syndrome in your school, right? But the tendency is that while they're at school, everything's fine, but they don't get the opportunity to be outside. And so if I had one message for kids in your high school, let's say, invite them to a party, or invite them to go to the ball game with you. Make sure that they're part of the outside of the school life as well as inside, because they all want to do what you want to do, and you may have to go pick them up because they won't drive, but just they want to be involved in school, and they want to be around kids like you, and your life will be improved because you know them, because they will give you loyalty that you have no idea about, how much they care about you and love you and want to be with you. So they really are an asset to anybody that they're around. And if I was going to give one message to you, I would say that's it. Just be sure that you care for them around the clock rather than just while you're at school. And include them in all your activities and be their advocate. And there's lots of stories where one little girl was a cheerleader for her school. Her school really rallied around her, and the kids from the other school made fun of her. They were making fun of her. And during a timeout, two of the kids from the basketball team went up and grabbed us and said, "Hey, stop making fun of her. She's part of our school. You can't do that." And the kids did. And so the little girl was so proud because the kids stood up for her, and they rallied behind her and made her part of the school rather than just somebody that went there. So I think that's important. You'll find them all over. There's lots of kids with Down syndrome that are living into their adult years, and you will more than likely run across some. And so just know that they're just wonderful people to get to know and make part of their lives. And if you ever need a hug, they're a place to go. There's a kid down in New Mexico that started a restaurant, and he was in charge of the restaurant, but mostly he was just in charge of hugs. And so he hugged everybody in the restaurant when they come in, and give them a hug. And so people came just to get the hug. So it's nice you had breakfast, but they just came to get a hug from Jim. And so I think it was called Tim's Place, and so Tim was the hugger. So it was his restaurant, but he said he was in charge of hugs. So they're great kids to give you a little self-confidence if you're feeling bad. So, any other questions?
I think that's it.
All right.
Thank
Well,
you so
thank you so
much.
much for
Thank you so
the
much.
opportunity.